Once again, ladies and gentlemen, man, it is your boy Lewis Band. Once again, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Lewis Basketball Network. I am back here with another one, with another banger, with yet another video. Make sure you like this video. Make sure to share this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, man. Only helps the channel grow. Truly appreciate it, man. Let's get right into it. So I want to just talk about these two little topics real quick. I want to talk about Kyrie Irving, and I want to talk about Kawhi Leonard. Now, in terms of, I'm going to start with Kyrie Irving. This is what I'm noticing about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a player that fails to understand how to manage the flow of a game. And what I want to ask the chat, the people on my channel, in the comment section, do you think that Kyrie is a superstar, or do you still think that he hasn't proven himself to be a superstar player yet? Because here's the thing. Kyrie wanted out of Cleveland because of the whole situation that happened with LeBron. And with management. Kyrie's Boston Celtics makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals without him and without Gordon Hayward, without their two best players. Then Kyrie and Gordon Hayward come back. It takes them a while to get their legs under them. They have chemistry issues with the entire team. Kyrie calls out his teammates passive-aggressively, which means he learned something from LeBron James. I also know that Kobe Bryant has been in Kyrie's ear because Kyrie is Kobe's protege. So I know that Kyrie has always taken little bits of things from both Kobe and LeBron. If you hear his mannerisms sounds like a lot like Kobe, and then his actions tend to be more like LeBron. So now the question is that we're going to say, well, now Kyrie, this is your team. You're the leader of this team. Lead these guys by example. When I look at the Boston Celtics, this is a team that's very disjointed. This is a team that lacks cohesion. This is a team that really doesn't look like a well-oiled machine. Everybody's kind of out for themselves. There's guys that play hard, but it's like I can really see that they're not playing like a team. Like you could just see it in their body language, and you could even see it in Kyrie. Kyrie came on and was like in the post game. He complained about calls from the referees, and maybe you got some calls. But the problem is Kyrie is showing inefficiency by not being smart in terms of his basketball play. He's not showing high IQ on the court. There are shots that he normally hits that they didn't fall. Kyrie is kind of becoming that Kobe Bryant when I see him in terms of taking difficult shots. He's a difficult shot maker. Well, Kyrie needs to learn how to mix up his game. Like, he praised Brad Stevens on what a great coach he is, right? And how he's a better coach than Tyronn Lue, and how he's really learning on how to really play in the system. Right now, Mr. Paul Pierce over here, Mr. Paul, this series is over after game one. Pierce was talking about how the Milwaukee Bucks were not even going to win this series after one game. And the Bucks have adjusted very well. And the Celtics defense has been non-existent. They've been terrible in guarding Giannis. Giannis has made adjustments in terms of attacking much more quickly before their defense gets set. Because if you saw game one, the Bucks were playing a lot of half court. When they would post up Giannis, a second defender would come and be able to be ready to guard Giannis when he would make his move on the first one. So the person would close out and be right there to help. And a lot of it would happen when Giannis would be trying to spin baseline. So basically, it would be three defenders. You have the primary defender who's guarding him in the post, the second defender who's in the paint coming out to help, and then the baseline would be the third defender, because you use the baseline as an extra defender to close their space to be able to drive. So that's what happened in Giannis in game one. In game two, Giannis made much more quicker decisions with the basketball, and he was already dribbling to the basket, not even dribbling, not even taking time. He made his decisions quick and just drove. And the Celtics have just done a poor job on their pick and roll defense, and they've done a poor job in their one-on-one coverage of trying to guard Giannis when their game plan was executed to perfection in game one, and they moved the ball. But now they've gotten selfish. Their shot selection I have not been a fan of. I mean, they attempted 42 three-pointers just last game. This Celtics team to me is overrated. They're deep, but they're overrated. This team gets in too many scoring droughts for a team that should be a finals contender. They're a very good defensive team, but it just shows you that, one, they lack leadership. They also lack an inside presence that would be able to take the pressure off of them. Because if you look at the way the Celtics score, they score on drives and they score on kickouts. Like, I don't really see a lot of movement in their offense. It's become very stagnant. This is part of the reason why they struggle to score. They attempt a lot of threes. for a team that's not really known for as a 3-point shooting team in Boston. Um, and also you have these young players with egos. Terry Rozier only plays 10 minutes. This brother acting out here like he really earns like a big contract and he's a starter when he's too inconsistent. Jason Tatum, who was highly overrated by the media, he was the second coming to Kobe Bryant, all this. I'm like, Jason Tatum hasn't proven nothing yet. He has a high ceiling. He can be very good, but even his IQ is not that good, and his shot selection is very, very poor as well. And Jason Tatum has been non-existent in this series. And then Jaylen Brown, athletic, just like Jason Tatum, but inconsistent. You have a lot of inconsistent players. And that's why, even though they have a system, I don't feel like the Celtics players utilize their system to their advantage. So to me, for a team that's loaded, for a team that's deep, for a team that looks like they have a high IQ, the Boston Celtics don't really have a high basketball IQ. And I just see it when I watch them play. And I noticed that they just kind of quit right when the Bucks punched them in the mouth and made their run. You can see it in the body language. They quit. And Kyrie Irving is talking all these great things and all that. But I'm telling you right now, Kyrie Irving, to me, low-key is making excuses for when they lose a series, he can go out. And I told you, he wasn't really committed to the city of Boston. Remember, the Boston Celtics were not on his radar. He ended up being traded there. But Boston Celtics were not on his radar. Now, that wasn't one of the teams he had on. If you go back to what I said in terms of what I said, Kyrie doesn't give a damn about the city of Boston, I said it. When the Patriots made the Super Bowl, like, Israel Gutierrez asked him, in an interview after the game, and he was like, it's big for the city, and it's like, go Pats. He was all nonchalant about it, so he really didn't care for it. So that's what Kyrie was basically doing. But like I said, like if he walks out and he happens to join LeBron James, then what's going to happen is you're kind of pulling off a Magic Johnson. When the going gets tough, you quit. Now, I'm not trying to get deep into Magic because, like I said, there's many reasons in terms of why Magic stepped down and that Lakers shenanigans, but this is just on Kyrie Irving. I'm just trying to kind of compare the situation in terms of when things go wrong, quit. Kyrie's kind of pulling a LeBron, too. Like, when things go wrong, it's, set your sails. And I'm telling you, Kyrie's never going to be looked the same if he decides to leave Boston and then ends up trying to, let's say, join LeBron. Even if he goes to New York, it's going to be because he came out and said he was going to re-sign with the Celtics and he's not going to talk about. And that's another problem that Kyrie has. He talks too much to the media, talks too much. And to me, he doesn't really know. In one part, I feel like he knew how to handle them, but then he's letting the media get to his head and he gets so frustrated that there's just some things he says that he really doesn't really have a grasp or like a handle on how to deal with them. And so I feel like, to me, Kyrie still has a little bit of growing up to do, and he needs to really look in the mirror. I mean, Kyrie's, 27 years old now? So, he really needs to realize that I need to be more of a team player. People could talk about the 10 assists, but if you look at moments in the game, Kyrie was taking bad shots when somebody could have got a better shot, or Kyrie Irving could have got himself a better shot. He didn't really drive, and, it's just like, I don't know with Kyrie, man. It's like, I love Kyrie. Like, he's an amazing player. But I think his IQ is still lacking right now. And it's still, and it shows when he plays. And his leadership, it just tells me that Kyrie Irving cannot be your best player on a championship team either. Just can't be. You would think so, but Kyrie can't be the best player on the championship team. Kyrie is another complimentary player. Kyrie is like kind of polarizing, but I don't know. I want to say he's a superstar, but it's just like after this series, it's like I kind of go down on Kyrie a little bit, and I'm gonna say, is he really a superstar? Is he a guy that can lead a team to a championship? We're not gonna know, because his leadership has not been great this season. It really hasn't been. The young guys, in one part, is their fault, but it's like, and Kyrie was trying to call him in line, but Kyrie didn't. A leader keeps things in-house. He could call out his team in the locker room. I mean, he did it on the plane and all that kind of stuff, but he's called them out in the media way too much, which shows you that you really don't care about your teammates like you do if you're going to call them out in the media like that. So, and sometimes you may need it, but sometimes you got to choose your words wisely, man, when you talk to the media. So, That's what it is. Um, and then when he apologized to Braun, it was like he really more so apologized, trying to understand that being a leader is not so easy on a team. But it wasn't because he wanted to join LeBron. The reason why I went at Kyrie was I was just basically saying, yo, you don't really have to talk. You don't have to mention Bron's name to the media. It's kind of like let him deal with his stuff with the Lakers, and you deal with your stuff with Boston. But I said I would not be surprised if there's a reunion. I mean, hey, Ty Lue is most likely going to be the head coach. Who knows if they could work out a deal to get Kevin Love there? I mean, it's like you never know. You never know. And then Kyrie possibly goes back. I mean, you never know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Kyrie's going to look like a hypocrite, and he'll never hear the end of it from the media. And then LeBron's fans, his fanboys and fangirls are going to get on Kyrie, or even Kyrie haters in general are going to be, see, you were nothing without LeBron. You were nothing without LeBron. And for people who keep talking all this nonsense about he didn't win before LeBron James and, all this and kind of that, Kyrie was a young player, number one. And number two, he did not have a great roster. When LeBron James came, the entire roster changed. Don't forget that. Kevin Love was included. Kyrie was already here. Don't forget that they traded Andrew Wiggins to get Kevin Love. Then they ended up getting, Sean Marion, ended up getting Mike Miller. They ended up getting Shumpert, Mozgov, and J.R. Smith. The whole roster had an overhaul. That's what people need to fail to understand. Dion Waiters ended up going to Oklahoma City. People really need to think when they speak, man. So that's what happened with Kyrie. But like I said, it's not looking good for Kyrie, man. His image is going to take a hit once he loses the series and then decides to just bounce, because he was really, to me, never fully committed with the Boston Celtics, even though he came out and said that. And like I said, Brad Stevens, to me, he's a good coach, but I think he's highly overrated too. Sorry, I'm just saying like it is. Now, ending with Kyrie, on to Kawhi Leonard. Yo, Skip is salty as about Kawhi Leonard. He can't stand the fact that Kawhi Leonard is playing unbelievable in these playoffs, especially in this series. And Chris Bruce coming out here talking about that. Oh, the Sixers are mentally much tougher than the Raptors. Ladies and gentlemen, what have I been saying about the Philadelphia 76ers? That team lacks discipline to be a championship team. I've said it for the longest. People, oh, Lewis, you don't know what you're talking about. Philly's much more talented than Toronto. They got Ben Simmons. They got Joel Embiid. You know what I noticed about Joel Embiid? It feels like game after, I'm not saying that there might not be something wrong with Embiid, but it's like he's making excuses as to things of why they happen. Look, they lost game one in Brooklyn. Amir Johnson's on his phone. Or was it Embiid's phone? I don't know. And then Embiid was explaining about what happened with that. Maybe it was true or not. But I feel like his head was really focused on that game one. They beat Brooklyn in 5 games, right? Then in game, I think in game one, there was an issue with the knee, right? Then, so you had the knee injury. Then all of a sudden, Joel has a stomach problem, and it's just it's kind of weird that it's in this series he's getting a knee problem and a stomach problem, and I knew already he had the bad knee, but it's just kind of weird that from kind of game to game things change, and it's he's not conditioned real well. Let's be real, Joel Embiid needs to lose a little bit of weight, because I think that his weight is putting a lot of pressure on his knees, which is why he's getting a lot of knee injuries. And we know the history with big men. Big men, their Achilles heel or lower leg injuries. That's a gimme. So. But I feel like Joel is kind of, to me, low-key making excuses. Even, like I said, even though I think he is hurt and all that, don't get me wrong, or he could possibly be sick, it's he's kind of used that same thing as back and forth. And it's now he's kind of making it seem like if he's got, that we have to give him a pass, Because Joel Embiid just put in 33, 10, and 5. And Broussard, the fanboy over here, was just talking about how, I think the Sixers are going to win the series. Then Kawhi Leonard dominates game 4, the best player on the floor. Joel Embiid only scores 11 points. And all of a sudden, it's the Sixers just look like they don't have the discipline to win. And I'm like, yo, this flip-flopping no good bastard. See what I'm saying? I said, this is why I don't trust Broussard or people go, Chris Goatsard. No, he ain't no goat. He's a flip-flopper, man. When it fits his narrative, he's a prisoner of the moment media analyst. That's what that nigga is at the highest levels. That's what he is. That's what he is. That's why I don't ever take Chris Broussard's words credible. Sometimes I really don't. But Skip, he all salty about number 2. Yeah, that guy, that quit on my Spurs, on my team, averaging 37.7 points per game, shooting 62% from the field, been the best player on the floor, 45, 35, 33, 38, 39, I should say, sorry. But I mean no, 45, 35, 33, 39. But Kawhi's been dominating. Uh, Skip can't stand it. This dude had the nerve to pick 2 quarters in the last 4 quarters. I mean, in the 4 games in the 16 quarters, Skip picked 2 4 quarters in what Kawhi Leonard played bad. You know what, Skip though? For Game 4, I mean, Kawhi Leonard just hit the shot of shots. I mean, the Raptors were only up one, took the ball back, hit the three in Embiid's face. And what's amazing about Kawhi Leonard, I love how Shannon says he's having a LeBron-esque. Cut the BS out, Shannon. He ain't Shannon Sharp. He ain't having no. Kawhi is not having a LeBron-esque. No, Kawhi is having an MJ Jordan-esque type of series. The amount of points he's scoring and at the efficiency that he's scoring them. Basically, he's shooting 62% from the field, 47% from the three-point line, and 91% from the free throw line. A 60-40-90 dominating. The Sixers don't have an answer for him. And I'm going to say this right now. Ben Simmons does not deserve a pass. He can't shoot. I told you, Ben, no jump shot, shoot your shot. Simmons over here, he can't shoot. And when Kawhi guards him, he's afraid to put the ball on the floor. I told you this is the same dude that lowered the expectations from when Philly made the second round and lost badly to the Boston Celtics. Mentally, the Sixers are not there yet. I've said this. They need to fire their coach too because mentally, not there yet. Or he hasn't been there during the process. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like with Philadelphia, with Kawhi Leonard, Skip doesn't want to give him his credit on why Kawhi's dominated this series. And that, he beat the difference with the San Antonio Spurs. And Shannon's talked about what Kawhi's hurt. I looked at it this way. I said Kawhi Leonard kind of handled it wrong. Also, both sides, them in the front office, they handled that situation like crazy. So, and Manu and Tony Parker both called Kawhi out. I think Kawhi was getting it from many different angles. Even the coach called him out. And I think, this is what gets me upset about Skip. He always tries to keep everything one-sided. And then Skip talks like a scorned woman, when it comes to Kawhi Leonard. Like he left you. He don't want to be with you no more. Like, what, none of this is good enough for you? No, Skip, because you all about control. You about narratives, man. You are a prisoner of the moment, just like LaShannon. I know you guys balance each other out. LaNick, Toucan Sam, LeBron nuts in his mouth wrong. And Chris, I know everybody and keeps interrupting people when they don't let him talk Carter. And Jenna, the stupid moderator who continues to repeat everything that was just said in an argument, in a debate. Wolf. Like. And then it's like, and then Broussard like, I know this is killing you, Skip. But the fact that Kawhi Leonard, he's shooting 62% from the field. And I know you're not going to like that. But you got to understand how Kawhi is like. And it's like, I know it hurt. See, every time that anytime the word Kawhi is mentioned, it just burns Skip's soul to hear that. And I'm glad that it's eating Skip alive. I mean, he deserves it. I enjoy watching Skip getting upset. No, he's like, he will always be number 2 to me. He quit on my team. See, he doesn't want to hold Greg Popovich accountable. He doesn't want to hold Tony Parker. He doesn't want to hold Manu Ginobili because they called him out too. The Spurs organization was coming up with a lot of lies. But I also said Kawhi didn't handle it very well. So basically all parties were pretty much messed up. But Kawhi's showing you in year 1 with the Raptors being the guy in his own team, he can carry them. He's done an amazing job. Amazing job. So, is Kawhi the best player? He's on neck and neck with Kevin Durant. And the thing with Kawhi Leonard is I got to see more of this. And first of all, they need to eliminate this low management with him. And he needs to just, as long as he continues to play and puts up the numbers like he's done in the playoffs and this year, honestly, Kawhi, second best player in the league behind Kevin Durant, in my opinion. Kevin Durant right now is the best, but not by a wide margin. People are saying that I don't think so and all this kind of stuff. No, KD's the best, and Kawhi Leonard is a very close second. He's like right there on his tail. It's kind of like what we were doing with KD and LeBron. When LeBron was the best, and then KD was on his tails. And LeBron is still a top 5 player, so I have him as a top 5 player. I don't know where other people rank him, but I think it's ridiculous to kind of say LeBron is kind of top 10. But like I said, it's a matter of opinion. But I give LeBron his respect. He's earned his clout. Kawhi has earned his clout. Kevin Durant has earned his clout. Kyrie Irving, I want to say he has, but he really hasn't. So, and then Chris Broussard is talking about the Sixers, and look how he flip-flops to the Raptors, saying that the Sixers don't really have the discipline. I've said that for the longest. He said the Sixers were mentally tougher than the Raptors, and now he wants to change his words. See, Broussard's full of it, man. He's full of it. But anywho, man, this is your boy Lewis with another one. I just wanted to give you an insight on Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors and the Sixers and, and Kyrie Irving, let you know guys think, what I was basically on my thoughts on both of those guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, So my question for you guys is, do you think Kawhi Leonard can be the best player in the NBA? Is he ahead of KD? Is he neck and neck with KD? Is he just slightly behind KD? And with Kyrie Irving, is he a superstar, number one? Number two, is he a leader? And number three, is Kyrie can he be the best player on a championship team? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But as always, man, I appreciate you guys as always. Bless up. One love. Peace. Thanks for watching.